Hello everyone, I am back with another video. Today I'm very excited. Um, Based on the title you guys know, today we'll be answering um, the questions and comments that you guys listed in my Q&A comment section announcement video. So before we get into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Head over to my main channel, somewhere up there. And yeah, my cat's here now. So first of all, and I go subscribe to Jack's channel, which I will also link. First of all, thank you guys so much for putting these questions here. Honestly, when I put it up, I was like, nobody's gonna ask any questions. But right away, I got questions, and there's some really good questions here. So I have gone over the questions. I mean, I went over them because I want to have some sort of idea of what I'm gonna say. But yeah, I'm not gonna go in order. A few people asked more than one question, which is even better. But yeah, so what Jack and I are going to do is I'm going to make a video answering these questions, and Jack is going to make a video answering these questions. So you kind of see both of our takes on it. But yeah, let's just go ahead and start with these. So LCD Car asks, what movies, if any, did you take inspiration for in See Two Faces? Now, I really didn't take anything from a movie for See Two Faces. I was actually listening to a song by Joni Mitchell, who is one of my favorite female artists, and the song was called "Both Sides Now," and the song itself had no relation to what the movie is about, but I just liked that name, and it kind of stuck with me, and I kind of created like this story around that name, and eventually changed it. Um, but I think if I were to take it from a movie, it wouldn't be a specific movie, but I'm a big fan of character study movies. So Taxi Driver and like Drive and movies like that, where we basically follow this character and we can see the thoughts and stuff like that. And I really didn't take anything from those specific movies, but that idea, that kind of character study type type thing. But yeah, not a whole lot of movie inspiration behind that, but just the song title was kind of a weird inspiration for that. But thank God I listened to that song because that wouldn't have this movie wouldn't have happened. But yeah, thank you LCD Cards for asking that question. Also my good friends. Um, Ariel McCarty, also my girlfriend, asks, was your inspiration for your last two films solely okay, yeah, this is a really good question. I did read this. Was your inspiration for your last two films solely based on other films and movies, or is there any personal circumstances you wanted to portray through them? Um, like I said, with See Two Faces, there really wasn't a whole lot of inspiration. That movie just kind of like popped into my head. Just that idea. Um, and personal circumstances, I'd like to think that I'm not a psychopath when it comes to See Two Faces. I did not base that character off myself. Um, but with Ordinary Man, now this was Jack's idea, so when he does his take on these questions, he can really tell you about it. But from what I know, he got that idea from a song name called Ordinary Man. And that just kind of launched the whole idea. And again, none of the song that I had an idea from with See Two Faces and the song he got an idea from, no way in shape or form were related to the story. But but yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, there's not really any movies that I based these off. Just like that kind of character study. And in a way, Ordinary Man is a pretty big character study as well. Because, character studies were pretty much based on this one guy. And, there are other characters in the movie who have a somewhat of a big role. But in the grand scheme of things, they don't really matter. So when we think about, and that's the thing with See Two Faces, and I guess you could say John Klein's character in Ordinary Man. But the thing with Ordinary Man is there's two pretty important characters, so it's hard to call it a character study, but in a way it still is. But yeah, so that is the first batch. So let's look at the second. And I believe Jack asked me a question too. So first one from Ryan Conrad. asks also, or he said, how long did it take you guys to make a movie? Well, I'm assuming you're asking about two movies, or the both of our movies. So, Ordinary Man took about, let's say, 2 months, maybe 2.5 months, because I had to write the script. And he came with the idea, and this could have taken much longer at Jack's eyes because he may have had this idea for the movie longer than I know. But from what I know, I'd say about 2.5 months. Now, like I said, I had to write the script, and I wrote the script within about a week. And then we went up to this mountain house, and we filmed there. And that's where, most of the shots are, and most of the scenes are in the movie. But yeah, and also we had to delay it quite a bit because some of the files that Jack had to edit were not right, and we had to wait, and we had to delete some scenes and film at my house, and it was just a pain in the butt. But and thank you to Jack for just putting so much time into editing and working his tail off to get that movie done. But we are so proud of having that uploaded. But next question. Ryan Conrad asks another one. He says, what is your favorite movie you guys made? Now, I can only pick from two, but since I directed See Two Faces, it's probably my favorite, but I would say Ordinary Man is because, like I said, there's so much time went into that movie, and it was just such, and I tell Jack, like, not only do I like the movie because of the story, and it's a very clever movie, but it's just the memories we had, going up to the mountain house, like the first day of filming, reading Jack the script for the first time and hearing his reaction. So probably Ordinary Man, but yeah. So yeah, I think Ordinary Man's probably my favorite, but many more movies to come in the future, but that may exceed Ordinary Man. I don't know. We'll see. Ordinary Man's pretty damn good. But next question. I believe this is the last question. Jack asks, what is the process of making a good story? So I was thinking about this. It's kind of a hard question. Now, when I think of story, I think of script. So I think he's asking story. He may have meant movie, but I'm just going to say story. I think the process of making a good story, and I've only written one script, so I'm not an expert. And I mean, Jack, obviously, he really loves my script, so I think it was good. But good for my first script. But I'd say if you're writing a script, I'd say know everything you're going to write down before you write it down. Because if you're making things up as you go, the story just falls apart. And especially have an ending. Already have an ending in mind. The gift that I have with coming up with movies is I already have an ending. Like the first image I have in my head is the ending. So I can work off of that right off the bat. But I'd say start off with an ending. Because then you know what you're working towards. And if you don't know what you're working towards, then it just kind of falls apart and it's just a bunch of crap. But I do know Quentin Tarantino, who's one of my favorite directors, he sometimes doesn't have an ending. But he's also a master filmmaker. So I think if he has enough story, if you can make up an ending while you're writing, and it's good and it makes sense, great. But if you want to make things easier, I would say have an ending in mind first. Even if that ending changes. But just make sure you have an idea what you're going for and what you're writing, how you want this to end. So when you're writing it, you're not like, you're not just making up stuff. But yeah, I think that's my process of making a good story. But yeah, those are all the comments. So again, thank you guys for putting the comments in here. And Jack, like I said, will make his take on this, on these questions. He'll make a video. I'm not sure when, but yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I answered your questions well. But yeah, when more movies come out, make sure to put more questions in the comment. We'll make another video. But yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.